Welcome to our channel, everyone. I'm so happy you're here today. Before we dive into our fascinating conversation about fishing, yes, fishing, I want to kindly ask you to subscribe to the channel, give this episode a like, and share it with your friends and family. Whether you're a complete beginner or just curious about this amazing outdoor activity, this episode is for you. Fishing is more than just catching fish. It's about patience, connection with nature, and learning something new every time you go out. So get comfortable and let's jump into our chat with James, an experienced fisherman who will share his insights, stories, and tips.
Hey Elena, it's fantastic to see your enthusiasm for fishing. For many, including myself, fishing is a way to disconnect from the hectic pace of modern life and reconnect with nature's rhythm.
I totally get that. The calmness is what draws me in. But there's so much I don't know. What would you say is the most important mindset for a beginner fisherman?
Patience is paramount. Fishing is not about instant gratification. Sometimes you wait hours without a bite, and other times, fish come one after another. You learn to appreciate the quiet moments and observe the environment, the water currents, bird activity, or insect hatches. These are natural clues that guide you.
Speaking of clues, how do you read the water or environment to find fish?
Great question. Fish tend to congregate near structures that offer shelter and food, like submerged logs, weed beds, drop-offs, or rocky points. Observing the water surface can tell you a lot. Ripples, jumping fish, or water temperature changes. Birds diving or circling overhead often indicate bait fish schools below, attracting larger predator fish.
That's fascinating. What about the gear? I'm overwhelmed with the choices of rods, reels, lines, and baits.
Start simple and build up. Your rod length and power should match the type of fish and water. For example, a 6 to 7 foot medium action spinning rod is versatile for freshwater. Reels come in spinning or bait casting styles. Beginners find spinning reels easier to handle. Line choice is crucial. Monofilament is forgiving and good for beginners. Fluorocarbon is less visible underwater, and braided lines offer high strength for thin diameters.
And bait, live versus artificial.
Live bait like worms, minnows, or crayfish can be very effective, especially for species like bass or catfish. Artificial lures come in many forms: soft plastics, crankbaits, spinnerbaits, jigs, each designed to mimic prey or provoke a strike. Choosing the right bait depends on the fish species, water clarity, and season.
I've heard a lot about topwater lures. What are those?
Topwater lures float on the surface, mimicking insects, frogs, or injured baitfish. They create surface disturbances like splashes or popping sounds, enticing fish to strike aggressively. Fishing topwater lures can be thrilling because you often see the fish attack.
Sounds exciting. What about seasonal changes? Does fishing differ through the year?
Absolutely. In spring, many fish spawn and move to shallow waters, making them easier to find. Summer can mean deeper waters and early morning or late evening fishing to avoid heat. Fall often triggers feeding frenzies to prepare for winter, and winter fishing requires patience as fish slow down. Knowing these seasonal behaviors helps plan your trips.
Wow, so much to consider. Are there any safety concerns specific to fishing?
Definitely. If you're fishing from a boat, always wear a life jacket and check weather forecasts. Sun protection is essential. Hats, sunscreen, and polarized sunglasses help. Be cautious handling hooks and knives, and respect wildlife around you. Also, some water bodies may have specific health advisories due to pollution. Stay informed.
Can you share a story where things didn't go as planned?
Sure. Once I was fishing at a remote lake and underestimated how cold the water was. Suddenly, the wind picked up and a small storm rolled in. My boat rocked and I struggled to get back to shore safely. It taught me to respect nature's unpredictability and always prepare thoroughly.
That must have been scary. What about fish handling and ethics?
Ethical fishing means treating fish humanely. If you practice catch and release, handle fish with wet hands to protect their slime coat, minimize air exposure, and release them gently. Also, follow local regulations about size and bag limits to protect populations.
How do you find new fishing spots?
Networking with local anglers, joining fishing clubs, and using apps or maps helps. Exploring new waters is part adventure, part research. Sometimes it's trial and error, learning from each experience.
And technology. Do anglers use it?
Yes, fish finders, sonar, GPS, and even underwater cameras revolutionize fishing. They help locate fish and navigate waters safely, but they don't replace knowledge and intuition. A good angler blends tech with traditional skills.
What about fish conservation efforts?
Many communities work on habitat restoration, pollution cleanup, and education. Participating or supporting such efforts is important for sustainable fishing.
Thanks so much, James. This has been incredibly informative. Any final tips for a newbie?
Stay patient, respect nature, keep learning, and enjoy every moment, whether you catch a fish or just soak in the scenery.
Thank you all for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode or learned something new, please like, subscribe, and share with friends. Your support means the world and helps us create more content just like this. Remember, fishing is not just about the catch, but about the experience, patience, and respect for nature. Stay curious, stay kind to our planet, and until next time, tight lines and happy fishing.
Since you asked for more details, Elena, let me share some info about popular fish species and where to find them. Bass, one of the most popular freshwater game fish, found in lakes and rivers, especially near weed beds or submerged logs. They're aggressive feeders and put up a good fight, making them favorites among anglers. Trout prefers cold, clean streams and lakes. Trout fishing often involves fly fishing and requires delicate presentation of the lure or fly. Catfish are bottom dwellers found in rivers and lakes. They're nocturnal feeders and often caught using live bait like worms or cut bait. Panfish, this group includes bluegill, crappie, and perch, great for beginners due to their abundance and ease of catch. For saltwater, redfish or red drum, found in coastal bays and estuaries, known for their strong runs. Snook, coastal fish attracted to mangroves and bridges, requires stealth and light tackle. And tuna and marlin, deep-sea game fish requiring heavy tackle and offshore boats.
Any tips on adapting your techniques to these species?
Absolutely. For example, bass respond well to topwater lures early in the morning and soft plastics during the day. Trout are very sensitive to movement, so stealth is key, and flies must match local insect hatches. Catfish often require night fishing and bait on the bottom. Adapting to the species' habits, feeding times, and habitat improves your success dramatically.
James, what about advanced techniques like fly fishing or deep sea fishing?
Fly fishing is indeed an art form. It requires mastering the casting technique to delicately place the fly on the water, mimicking the natural insect behavior. It demands patience, precision, and knowledge of entomology, study of insects, to match the hatch, the local insect emergence. Deep sea fishing, on the other hand, involves heavy tackle and often battling massive fish like marlin or swordfish. It requires knowledge of boat handling, safety protocols, and sometimes coordination with a team.
How do you prepare for such trips?
Preparation is key, checking weather and sea conditions, bringing the right gear, and knowing emergency procedures. Also, understanding the target species' behavior and habits ensures a successful trip.
Sustainability is a big topic. How do anglers ensure they're protecting the environment?
Sustainable fishing means respecting limits set by local authorities, practicing catch and release when appropriate, and minimizing habitat damage. For example, avoid trampling on sensitive vegetation or disturbing spawning grounds. Using biodegradable lines and lead-free weights helps reduce pollution. Also, picking up any trash, avoiding single-use plastics, and educating others are vital steps. I remember once during a trip to a remote river, I met a local elder who taught me traditional fishing methods using handmade nets and traps. It was humbling to see how fishing was once deeply connected to community life and respect for nature. Such experiences remind me that fishing is more than sport. It's culture, history, and a way of life.
Thank you, James, for sharing your wisdom and passion. I'm sure our listeners are inspired to pick up a rod and explore the world of fishing.
Thank you, Elena. Remember, everyone, whether you catch a fish or not, fishing is about patience, learning, and respect. Enjoy every moment.
Thank you all once again for being with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with anyone who might benefit. Tight lines and happy fishing. Until next time.